right? Now they work the brother over.
On your own property.
Yeah, of course. And the police know, they can't say, I've already been to the police station 7 or 8 times with loudspeakers, with, I don't know if y'all see some of the flyers. I put flyers at the police station and I wait till when they going and coming, all up coming. So everybody knows everybody. And plus they've used us from the 60s as a model for study of crime organization, this, that, and other, civil rights or underground movement. They use us. Plus, we in all the stuff, they can't say we don't know. The Oakland Police Department was, when we get them in court and they say, well, we arrested him, we didn't know he was, I can't wait till they say that. I may not even say nothing that time, I let them go on around. Then come back, I said that we were going to recall it. Did you say y'all didn't know? I said, y'all not hooked in with Homeland Security and mosque and all that? I said, every mosque that I know is hooked up, but they have police coming by.
They did Imam Jamil.
Yeah.
The man went down there and said when he went to his community,
Right.
said he didn't know Imam Jamil. Remember he
Yeah,
said
the police said that he didn't know Imam Jamil. Okay, well, we can't wait. Armed intruders attacked Masjid al-Sam. This is, the whole world sees it, and this is armed intruders. Now, the only armed confrontation was in 1974. Some of the Dar al-Islam members in New York had a confrontation with some more brothers in 1974. Other than that, and the Imam from Jacksonville, you remember little old Tattletale Ali? That's the one that did
State Department.
State Department Ali that did the video cameras. Well, he was married to a sister, the girl's father's a friend of mine. Now they classical. Now that's a good couple there. Because people got down crazy with them, and him and his wife backed out the door with 44 magnums. I said, now that's the kind of girl, hey.
Barney and Clyde.
Hey man, no, that's the Islam. They practice good Islam. And you know what the daddy told me? He said, that little, he talked about it pretty bad. So now, imagine, Mukhtar them and shot dogs and everything. That's why I mention it all the time. He received death threat. That's probably about 200 or 300 death threat. I make sure I record everything, and this is the one on trespassing. Imam Jamil arrested, held in jail, 15 hours. They don't ever take me and keep me.
Imam Musa.
Huh?
You said Imam Jamil, you meant Imam.
Oh, Imam Musa, yeah, poor Imam. Hey, look, you have to realize what happened is that the Jahiliyyah contact with the system so regular and so long puts you on automatic pilot. So none of this worked. None of it worked at all. With Imam Jamil, we mentioned Imam Jamil. What did the mayor, Andy Young, said? He said, I sent my daughter to school at Atlanta and I had her stay in that area because of how they acted, right? The sheriff, the Negro sheriff woman, said it was people like him that got us our jobs. But they all went back to the law. But the law, they know the law is, they're not using the law correctly. And old stepping fetching over there in Congress, John Lewis, I had an out-of-body experience. He had an out-of-brain experience. They get talking about when Obama became president. I had an out-of-body experience. He had an out-of-brain experience. He's in Congress from Georgia, right? He don't mention the Muslims. He knows what happened with Dr. King. He knows what happened with the movement. He knows the COINTEL program. He don't mention nothing. He ain't tried to get him a pardon. He don't even mention, I never even mentioned black people for real.
He's one of the big six.
Yeah, that boy is, hey man, it's pitiful. Okay, now, with us, that's what we have to do. We have to get these people, it's not for our use, it's for the public. Because we don't believe in the law and the system. Because even if you get something, they give it, they're going to take it right back. You could integrate the schools, yeah, well, go around to the schools in the world, in America, and see how much integration. The schools is black, Latino, or they're solid white with 3 Negroes that missed the bus going to the Negro school and
Playing on the sports team.
right?
Yes, playing on sports.
The schools, DC, everywhere, everybody. They're talking about school desegregation. They resegregated, they wasn't desegregated no more than an hour or 2. Right? And everything else. Now, I have a little light theory on this. That phony break-in at the FBI in 1971 to get the COINTEL program stuff was either an inside job. When I say inside job, remember I always talk about that I believe, it's a book I studied years ago on true believers. It's not about Islam. It's about people in groups, organizations, and communists, all kind of people. It talked about why did the Russians, who could face the Germans with nerves of steel, when they would come before a hearing at a communist party, they would almost be crying and lose control because they believed in the system and they believed in the authority. But Germans, they can torture them, do anything they want. And it talked about people, that if you want to convert somebody to your way of thinking, the best one to convert is a true believer, the one that really believes in that ideology. Why are we always mentioning 10% of the FBI really believes in the Constitution on it? Because that's a rule. It's always, right? It's always in some people, no matter how much you lie in the military, you tell them that George Bush lies, no weapon of mass destruction, he don't care. The president said it, and we're going to go over there and we're going to kill old Iraq, and whoever else we got to kill. Right? Oh yeah, alhamdulillah, that. Right? Because they believe in this stuff. I believe in the FBI and a few other, I just stick with the FBI. Because when I've had contact with them, I've always, they thought they was questioning me. Well, I was also questioning them. But in a colored way, that they have no idea. Because they think in certain patterns. They don't think back 1910, how did a nigga do something in 1910? They don't even know what people did. They don't know how they leaned on the table. They don't know how they scratched a little bit to throw them off. You know, they don't know nothing about that. So, this stuff that all happened, we arranged it. Truly, but did we have a little help from them? Well, things that you have to write and sign on. If you sign property, if they sold a nice piece of property, did they sell that because they wanted to give us an open case where they take the money and put it in another and give it to him and then talk to me like I'm crazy? You can't get that from that because you don't belong on that account. You're supposed to be mad. Everything is supposed to make you mad and change your focus. When they did the stuff with the violence, I'm supposed to respond. And the fat lady in the kitchen, she punched me 2 or 3 times. But it ain't no big, to everybody else it's a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. It's not a big deal. At all. If it was a big deal when the PG police is whooping on folks down there, I wouldn't be going and grabbing their baton. I didn't grab their hand, I grabbed their baton hands. And they were shocked. You know, a split second, they were shocked. This has never happened. There's nothing on the books where a nigga walks up and grabs 2 police and they got pistols and the other one is on the other side. He can shoot him anytime he wants. You ain't read nothing about nothing like that. You know why? People don't do it. They don't do that. If it happened once or twice in history, that's great. I haven't read about it though, right?
If they do it, they don't live to talk about it.
They don't live to tell about it. Now, so the point I'm making is that the FBI, did they help arrange this stuff to give you an open door to your case? They could do it to help solidify their case. They could do it for many reasons. They could do it because some of them believe in the Constitution. They don't want to be Gestapos. They don't want to be. Just because 89 and 90% do. We're not worried about them. We're worried about, we're not worried. We're pushing for the 5 or 10% or 1 or 2%. Remember, we don't need but 1 or 2. 1 to make the original, the crazy one that goes out and tell the truth, and 1 more stupid enough to collaborate what they say. That's part of our strategy. They might use that, think they can trap us, or they remember, this is psychological mumbo jumbo we playing. So we can throw the dice out any hand we get them in. We can kick them out, we can throw them out, we can do what we want. But one thing about it, we got to cross higher barriers, and the other thing we got to do is what we've already done. Like I was telling Zayd yesterday, I said, no, boy, what about those people? I said, that ain't nothing, man. That ain't nothing. And then I got to running where we really coming from, and he had a look on his face that was unbelievable. Okay, now, so, it don't make no difference what they do. It's what we doing. We doing what we think is right. On the timetable that we operate on. They can't do anything to influence our time, place, and circumstance. Like when we go back to Oakland, we're going to reopen the Masjid when we get ready. If anybody comes in there that don't belong, we're going to tell them, you have to get out. You don't belong here. If Mukhtar and them is watching, if everybody in Oakland is watching, let me tell y'all something in Oakland. You know the man is not, you yellow niggas out there in Oakland tricked that guy Mukhtar and his slow-thinking wife. Y'all got them niggas all, so wonder they still alive. That's what the police is trying to do. That's why I left Oakland the other week, the other month, the other year. It's been a while. Why? Because these are the only people in United States history that have acted as dumb and as visible as they acted, with nothing going for them. They're not correct on anything. So guess who the world's eye? They're on Mukhtar, they're on Khadijah, and the eye of the world is on Oakland, dear believers. Y'all ain't getting out of this. All of you, whether you went over to another masjid on MLK, they're gonna ask the question, what you doing over there? How did you get over there? If y'all went over to Alameda, if some split and went to different places, the 31st, the global Islamic movement is studying you guys. When we say from Stalingrad to Oakland, all of that is on purpose. We've been knowing who we've been dealing with most of our life. But because we know it, don't mean nothing. You have to show it to the people. That's what we did in Oakland. That's why the people are so dumb that they came with guns to the masjid. You ain't, for what? Why they come to the Juma with guns? Why they come with Juma with guns? What reason is it for anybody to come to Salatul Juma with guns? What are they prepared for? They went to the police station. The police is killing niggas in Oakland and busting them upside the head. Why? They ain't went down there. Right? Okay. Imam Musa, Big Hank, you came to the wrong person. It's not the first time this has happened in Oakland. With the police, two assassination attempts in 1970. One of them is known throughout the penitentiary system and from San Quentin to Folsom, everywhere. Everybody know about it. It was the Oakland Police Department and me. You think, I don't know whether I was arrested 100 times or 200. I have to count. It's just get exhausting trying to count all. You think the Oakland Police Department can say they didn't know what they was doing? What Mukhtar was trying to do was set up an assassination of Imam Musa 3 times in a row. When they failed, then the police come to me with the familiar hints. Do what you want to hear. That's why in Oakland, people was walking up to me trying to give me guns. Every time I go to Oakland, people will walk by me and say, yeah, Hank, we still doing them 187s, you know. That means 187, that's murder in California. I don't know how many people have said that they want to move on Mukhtar. We don't have to move on Mukhtar. You can stop calling me on the phone. That's called stalking. You can't do that. When I come back there, you can come to the masjid once or twice. After that, you ain't coming no more. All of the property that we own, even if you tried to sell some, we're occupying our property. Because I have the original deed. If you gave it to somebody else, the court's going to have to say, hey, how did that happen? And you got your name on that stuff. And imagine everybody in Oakland sitting there watching that stuff and ain't nobody made not one move and said nothing. And everybody know who Mukhtar was. Mukhtar and Khadijah were the janitors of the community. And they all worked for a salary. Imam Musa never had a salary. The only people in D.C. ever had salaries was teachers. The other people who's close to leadership, we don't take no salary. We go out and hustle and give the money to you. And what Mukhtar is saying? What did he say? Imam Musa, you're
Stealing money from the believers.
stealing money from the believers. I just come back from overseas. You know, when you come into customs, if you got over $10,000, you gotta declare. Do you know how many times I came into customs with $30,000, $40,000 and all that? Believers, which believers? Oakland believers? You get one slip that Mukhtar, Khadijah, Abdul-Alim, any of them ever sent $5 to DC. In 20 years, never one penny. Always us going out there, oh, we haven't paid the taxes on all this property in a billion years. It's only $50,000. On January 27th, something like that, 2005, I went out there and paid the taxes. Because if you don't pay them by February, it'd be default. They never came out here and paid no taxes. In fact, every time we get ready to build something, we got the money, here they come. Abdul Malik, Mukhtar and them, to vanish the money, so we keep paying taxes on our property here and in Oakland and don't get no use out of it. And dear Mukhtar, honest Mukhtar, ask him where all the computers in the school, you remember that big school we had? Ask him where the computers are. Ask him where the books are. Ask him where the schools are. Ask him where the DVD duplicators that cost $1,500 a piece in those days. Ask him where all that stuff is. Tools, compressors, because all the work, you know, that we did to remodel, 80% of the work, 85% of the work, we did by ourselves. Only maybe a few things like a little bit of tile work, and up on the roof, I had my sons come by and do some of that. That's an 8,000 square foot roof. You try to figure out how much tar and how much paper and stuff you got to put on 8,000. This whole building is 7,500 square feet. Top and bottom. So imagine roofs twice as big as this roof plus. No, excuse me, 4 times the size of this roof. Plus. It's a lot of work to do by yourself. Pulling everything up by yourself. Yes.
If you stealing money from the believers, how much money was in the box that was taken? How much money was in the box?
Oh, he calls me on the phone and said, yeah, I took the box. It wasn't but $36 in there. I said, I don't care if it's $5, it's not yours. I ain't never even heard the stuff they do. Stealing the box at Juma and running off. This is, and I haven't told y'all none of this stuff, and then we had Juma giving a talk, and then he shoot the dogs because they done stabbed the tires, and so I put the guard dogs down at the place at the school, and they protect the van and stuff. And he shoots the dogs.
You know, there's a football player that he abused some dogs. He had to do some time.
Oh, well, here's what they did. Y'all saw the picture of me in the back of the police car? I'm in the back of the police car in front of the school, and I'm telling them they don't have no right to be in there. And they let Khadijah going out. I said, the other thing is, I told the brother, I said, go down and get my briefcase. So I had him show the police the deeds. I said, oh, this property, that property, oh, that property, that's my name. I said, the deed to that property, it don't say Clarence Reams, but it says, send all information to 5021, see that? A Street, Southeast Washington, D.C., 2009. Do you know who lives there? Would you show this man a copy of the ID right there? It don't say send nothing to Mukhtar. It don't say nothing, send nothing to nobody. Well, we have to, I said, something says Abdul Malik Ali. I say, he don't have nothing to do with it. He don't have nothing to do with the deed. Maybe the water bill was in his name or something. So they did all of that so to build up frustration and anger. That ain't gonna happen. Even if you come around acting a fool some more, I'm not gonna turn violent. Maybe somebody else might, but not me. You know why? Look at the blessings that our community. Can you imagine? We're up into D.C., it'll be 30 years in another 2 years. It'll be 30 years here. It'll be 40 years out there in a hot minute. With everything, what they hit the door with, busted them up, they was gone with one punch. And we done stood in the middle of the ring and let them square off. Remember we used to use the term punching bag? We let them load up on us, get planted, and throw perfect combinations. Because everything they did was military. When they had a couple of Arabs come, and when they gonna move on to Masjid, this was military position. You do this. I'm getting ready to say something with the speaker. One, he grabs a microphone, so you can't speak. The other, when I look over here at Mukhtar, the other one come up and grab my phone, because they think that I got a lot of stuff on there. Yeah, this military position, everything they doing is, and then finally, at high noon, high Juma noon, everybody out there with guns, and finally, after several minutes, a long time, finally the police come. Everybody's still out there. You know what the Arabs do? They start running. The people say, why these men running up here? Here's these men up here, the old black ladies. And everybody, the other church go and say, why they bringing them guns to your church? I said, oh, they just like the West, as long as they, that is a joke. I'm trying to tell you, we fronted they behind off. Now, we're gonna do landmark cases with them. We're going to the Oakland Tribune over and over again. That's like the Washington Post out there. We're going to the legal aid type lawyers that we want. One of the biggest civil rights lawyers out there is a friend of mine. But I couldn't call him, no, they wouldn't let me call him. I called the office, no, you can't talk to him. I said, well, what do I have to do to get in contact with him? I said, tell him it's so-and-so. I said, tell him when he worked in the nursery, when he was at Lompot Camp, tell him the guy that worked for him, you know why I plant flowers all the time? Because I worked in a nursery in the penitentiary. And the guy, Tony Sierra, the biggest civil rights lawyer in Northern California. He was on one of them civil rights, you know where the feds get tired of you because you help too many people. They put him in the pen. I didn't even know who he was, and he didn't know who I was. Everybody just called him Tony. You know what I realized? I'm sitting there listening to KPFA out there. It's like WPFW. And he's on. I said, Tony Sierra. He say, yeah, man, I know. Then he say, they said, did you ever do any time in prison? He said, yeah, I did a wonderful time in prison. So I was at Lompot Camp, and, well, what did you do? He said, I was over the nursery. In 1980 and a little bit of 81. I said, Tony, because all we say is, hey man, I'd work for 15 minutes a day, and he said, he ain't no police, so he didn't care what you do. So all I did, I'm Tony, he's Tony, and I'm Abdul. I didn't tell him Abdul. And we just went on about our business. I didn't know till then, because a few years ago, I said, I know who I turned my case over to. He's a big civil rights lawyer. When I would call his number, you talking about the feds being fast. I don't know whether I was talking to their office or whose office. I'd like to leave a message. I'd like to talk to Tony. No, you can't talk to him right now. And well, I got a case. He's a big civil rights lawyer. He's not a civil rights lawyer. He's a criminal lawyer. Because he was doing one case. I don't know if you ever heard of Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow. It's a big case out there in California. So, well, send us a little package. I sent them all of this stuff smaller. I said, I just want to talk to him. I said, tell him this is homeboy. One of the ladies says, no, he's never been in prison. I talked next time. Yes, he was at Lompoc. So you want me to tell him? I said, tell him I want to see him. So I had to come back here, but I told him, look, I know your address. If y'all don't get me in contact with him, I'm just going to come out there with a loudspeaker, which I am. Going over San Francisco, and I'm going to be out there, hey, man, Tony, man, you ought to see who's working for you down there. And then he going to come down, and he going to say, hey, I've seen you before. I said, yeah, I know you're old. I said, because he was saying that he still did a little work, big law firm. Then he was 82, 81, 82. He said, I do enough work to keep active. So I said, yeah, you're older than me, homeboy, but I try to squeeze one. This is a landmark case. No, we want to whoop the Supreme Court. We want a Brown Board versus the Board of Education type case. That's why we've been patient with all of this, letting it build up. They say, you got to stop this. I'll stop it. I started it. I would say, hey man, right in the middle of from all this stuff that happened, I still say, man, I believe Mukhtar gonna sell one of our properties. Why would I say that? So he would do it. That's what he did. It's illegal. I don't care. The world is going to ride these cases. These cases ain't going nowhere. When I said we are building up if don't nobody say a word. We're going to have high scale, high podcast, internet, historical stuff. We're going to professionalize all of this stuff. And if the court have enough nerve, and we got the paperwork, and don't forget, we're going to join the stuff they thought they got away with in the 60s. They ain't getting away with nothing. Remember I'll tell you some of the cases they said, we went up and there was weed in the mailbox, therefore we had probable cause. If you were a nigga so many years old driving big pretty cars, in those days you could tell a white judge anything you want. But now you go tell, yeah, but he has first arrest,